Today I want to talk about your documentation website and GitHub and the ability to sync your website with GitHub. Let's start with it. We are on the Typemill website here. This is a Typemill documentation website. And this here is the repository for the documentation where I host the whole content again. And now we can just switch to the editor and just update the documentation here. Let me just update it, save the change and publish the change. And then you can open this new tab, the new GitSync tab, which is added by a new GitHub plugin that I just recently published. And here you can see that your website is not in sync with the GitHub repository anymore. And yeah, you can just open here the system settings, the GitSync in the system settings, and there you have a push button. And then you can just push your changes to GitHub. Let's just open it so you can also see the whole push and pull history here. And now let's check it on GitHub, and you can see that the content is updated. And you can do it the other way around and just remove it again. Let's commit the changes. And then let's go back to the Typemill website, refresh it, and then it detects that there's a change, and we can pull the change back to our Typemill website, and you can see everything is in sync again. Also on the front-end website, everything is in sync. So you can basically edit your website with Git. And why is it so cool? So there are many use cases. First use case is that people can contribute to your GitHub repository, fix stuff, and then you can sync it back to your website. This does not happen very often with Typemill, but the more interesting use case is that my whole documentation lives on my local computer along with my code and my coding agents that I use, and then when I develop a new feature or I do any changes in my code, then I can just tell the coding agents, okay, please update the documentation now, and then push it to Git, and I'm done. And this is a workflow that is very popular, that was already popular before AI agents came up, and the philosophy is known as docs as code. And usually in docs as code philosophy, most people use static site generators, which is nice, but they don't have an editorial interface. And Typemill has an editorial interface. It's just a content management system based on Markdown files. And the advantage is that you can collaborate easily with non-technical people because they have the ordinary editor. So if you're in a software company, then you can collaborate on one documentation with your marketing people, with your product owners, project managers, whatever. And this is a very neat and very nice workflow. And you can do even more because you can see here that I only added one repository, but you can add more repositories, and this is usually the case in many software companies because they use microservice architecture or whatever, and their software usually has several components, and each component has a different repository, and you can sync now all your different repositories back to one website, which is really a nice tool and a really nice workflow. And to do so, it's pretty easy. Let me just show it. You have to add an ID here. You can sync a repository to the main content if you leave the local folder empty, or you can add a folder and sync several repositories to different folders. And you can usually It by default it only syncs Markdown files, but you can also sync your YAML files with your metadata, and you can choose between GitHub and GitLab, and here you can just add your GitHub organization and your repository name and the branch. It might be main, it might be dev, whatever. And if you don't want to sync it manually, you can also auto sync it, but keep in mind that this might slow down the performance of the front-end website, because whenever users visit your website, there's a small check and maybe a big sync, and this might take some time. So keep it, use it with care, but please use this feature because it's super cool. Just install the GitSync plugin. It's a licensed plugin, so you have to pay a business license for it. Because yes, it's a more a business workaround. So yeah, hope you like it. Let me know what are your experiences, and let me know if there are some improvements that you wish.